Hey guys, I'm Alistair from Trail & Kale, and today I'm reviewing the Juiced Bikes HyperScrambler 2. So if you're not familiar with Juiced Bikes, they are a company based in San Diego and they've been around since 2010, I believe it is. They started as a battery manufacturer and then swiftly got into e-bikes because they saw a gap in the market. They had all the battery tech and they wanted to try and make the most fun, best e-bikes. So that's the origin story of where they came about. And this bike here, which I guess you could call an electric motorbike, although it does have the ability to pedal and it does have a chain on there, so it is a bicycle in that sense. But I think this bike is mostly going to be for anyone looking for a throttle-based e-motorbike, just to have a lot of fun, to commute, go huge distances, crazy top speeds, and just have a lot of fun on the bike. So this particular HyperScrambler 2 is the Founders Edition. It does come with extra accessories and all sorts, like this Bluetooth speaker headlamp, for example. There were only 150 made. This is number 53 of 150, so it's a very special bike. You get the special metallic green paintwork. For more information on that, all the extras that you do get, definitely check out my full review on trailandkale.com. And if you're enjoying this video, please give it a like and share with a friend who you think might be interested in a bike like this as well. What is the HyperScrambler 2 like to ride then? Well, as I said before, it's pretty much an electric motorbike, which means it's very fast, very smooth to ride, and most people are going to choose to use the throttle to get going rather than pedaling, just because it lends itself to that. It's a very heavy bike and it's just much easier to use the throttle rather than get started with pedaling. It is super fast. I've been able to get up to 35 miles per hour on this with the throttle alone, which is insane. I might be inclined to call that scary fast. It also has a top distance of over 100 miles because of these two huge 52-volt batteries, one here and one here. I reviewed a fair amount of electric bikes in my time, but nothing quite like this, because this is effectively classed as an electric motorbike. It is classified as class 3, so it's a very fast bike. So if you are interested in more of the kind of utilitarian e-bikes out there for commuting as well, definitely go check out those on trailandkale.com. I'll put a link up here now. So there are a few things on this bike that make it very nice and comfortable to ride, and also fun, by the way. So the top speed, of course, and the throttle, that's all amazing. It's very fast and it's a very gradual increase in speed, acceleration, so it's not like a huge jolt when you're at top speed. It's very consistent in how it accelerates, so that's a really nice part of how it is to ride. One of the things you've got is the fat tyres, which means it goes over light trails and bumps and whatever very easily. So adding to that and the smooth ride, you've also got dual suspension. So you've got suspension forks at the front, which have a huge amount of travel on them, which is great. And then at the rear, you've got these very heavy duty suspension rods at the back as well. You've also got this very bright LED headlamp here, which at the moment it's just got the halo ring, but you can also bloop, put on full beam, and this is crazy bright. Really does light up the road ahead of you when you're riding. The other thing is there's a torque sensor in here, so when you do pedal, it's a very nice smooth introduction of the electric motor to give you that power assist or pedal assist. So it's a very, very smooth ride. And then finally, one of the great features that make it a very nice bike to ride is the hydraulic disc brakes. When you're riding a bike this heavy, 120 pounds by the way, it's incredibly heavy, but there's a lot of bike and a couple of very huge batteries as well. When you're on a bike this heavy, you do need hydraulic brakes to be able to stop very quickly and efficiently, and this bike has those types of brakes. Now I'm going to go over some of the key features that I really like about this bike. So the first thing is it's got two 52-volt batteries, which gives the bike a huge capacity and allows it to get all the power it needs to move this heavy bike. So these two batteries will allow the bike to go over 100 miles. So that is insane. If you've got a long commute, or you just don't fancy charging your bike all the time, then 100 miles is great. It also allows the bike to go over 35 miles an hour. It's listed as over 30 miles an hour, but I managed to get it to 35 very easily. Just literally because of the power from the battery and the motor as well, so love that. Next great feature would be the torque and cadence sensor that I mentioned earlier. And basically what that does is as you pedal, the sensor then adds the power in the pedal assist nice and softly and smoothly, so that there's no jolting as the assisted motor kicks in. So it's a very nice smooth riding experience. Third feature then would be the dual suspension that I also mentioned earlier. Works really well, provides a nice smooth ride. I wouldn't go riding this thing on, you know, hardcore trails or anything like that. In most places you're not allowed to ride e-bikes on trails anyway, so definitely check where you live. Any light trails that maybe you've got in between you and getting to work, for example, then it rides over that very well. Fourth thing that I really like about this bike then is the display. It's very clear, very easy to use. It's got everything you need to know on there. Shows you how much voltage you're using from the batteries at any particular time when you're moving and also stopped. It's got your battery level indicator, which is full right now. Your trip mileage, wattage used, and your speed as well. And then this thing where it says Eco, that is your pedal assist. So if I scroll up, you've got pedal assist 1, 2, 3, and then you've got sport, and then you've got race mode, which is where the fun happens in my opinion. That's how I managed to get to 35 miles per hour. And that is scary fast, so do be careful, wear your helmets, but have fun. Moving on from the display, there is extra buttons or levers here. So this is the light switch if you want to have full beam on and you switch that on. And then indicators, which is very nice. So if you look at the back, you will see I'm indicating left. The same thing happens. By the way, these are nice and bouncy. So if you do knock them on anything, then they won't break off, which is a really nice feature. Same on the front, the indicators, springy. And come around here, you'll see that this one is flashing as well. And then finally over here, indicators, you've also got the horn, which is very cheeky, it's very loud. People will hear you with that horn. There are a lot of e-bikes out there that have really pathetic horns and they can't really be heard. So it's nice to have a road-worthy horn. If you are on the road riding this, people and cars will actually hear you. You've also got your own gears here, so manual gears, which you can use to help you pedal up hills. If you don't want to use all the power and you want to actually get some exercise with the bike, then it's really nice to have these. The final thing that I really like about this bike is the passenger-ready seat. It's really nice, luxe leather looking. It's got great stitching around here. If you come in a little bit closer, you can see the stitching is done really nicely. It's very comfortable, and you can have someone on the back here hanging on to you and hanging on to this handle at the back as well. Now for the three things that I feel could be improved with the HyperScrambler 2. Well, these are the things that really kind of stood out to me anyway in my testing. So the first one being, it is quite high off the ground. And of course there's no adjustability. So it can be a little awkward to stop. It's not like you can kind of step forward to a lower frame off your saddle. It's all the same height and it is quite high. So that's one thing. Second thing would be the weight, and I know it's very hard for it not to be so heavy with all the kind of metal and the batteries on this thing, but it's 120 pounds. So if you want to get an example of me trying to lift this, you know, this thing is, it's got a heck of a lot of weight. It's not like you're going to be putting this on a bike rack very easily. This is me trying to lift it, and I work out. Now I thought that might make it a little bit unstable to walk the bike because it is quite heavy, especially up hills. but they've got around that by giving you this walk mode, which you activate by holding down the minus button on the display. And you'll notice the bike will start moving when I do this. Whoop. So you actually have to hold this down. It does give you a shock and you think the bike's gonna go off without you. But then you can kind of walk it. Use your brakes as well. When you activate the brakes, it does kind of stop the motor from pulling it away, which is cool. That's all integrated. If I let go of the brake, it pulls it away, so it makes it going uphill very easy. And by the way, if you're wondering if it goes up hills very easily and fast, yes, it's crazy fast up hills, super steep hills too. The final thing where I feel this bike could be improved is the placement of the buttons that you might want to access when you're actually riding the bike. So these are my hands on the handlebars. Maybe if you look to the right one over here, it's probably a bit more useful because these are the buttons you would most likely want to use when you're riding. I kind of have to take my hand off a little bit to be able to reach these. I can't just go like so. I have to take my hand off and extend my thumb to get to those buttons. And it's the same over here on the left. I can't reach these buttons. Unfortunately, I have to just take my hands off. Not a big issue. It just doesn't feel quite as ergonomic as you would want when you're actually riding a bike. And I guess that's especially important if you do need to use the horn very quickly whilst you're riding at speed. It could be a bit fumbly to get to it. Right then, now for the demonstration of the speed, the acceleration, the noise levels, and also the stopping. So how quickly does it stop? Now regarding noise levels quickly, I've got the microphone on me, so this is going to be the noise level from the rider's perspective, not from someone else who's not actually riding. And when it comes to top speed on this demonstration, I'm not going to be reaching top speed. I just don't have the distance to be able to demonstrate that. But I'll let you know what speed it got to as I pass the camera. Acceleration then. Top speed. So that was around 23 miles an hour, which is only roughly 2/3 of the top speed. And it felt very quick. You probably got a lot of wind noise from me as I was going forward. Let me just do a quick stopping test. Whoop. I mean, stops dead quick. I'm not going to do any quicker than that because I don't want to go flying off the front. But no trouble stopping this 120-pound bike. So there you have it. That's the Juiced Bikes HyperScrambler 2 review. If you do want to learn more about this bike in more depth, I've gone into all the specs and more details about the bike in my in-depth review on trailandkill.com. So definitely do go check that out. I think it will really help you decide whether it's the bike for you. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to our channel for more outdoor gear reviews just like this one. So summarizing this review then, and what the HyperScrambler 2 is actually like, it's a hell of a lot of fun. It's a lot of bike, pretty much an electric motorbike. It's passenger ready, so it can take 2 people, no problem. It can go over 100 miles with these two 52-volt batteries. Over 35 miles an hour, crazy speed, and that's just with the throttle. It's feature packed, and yeah, it's just a heck of a lot of fun, and I believe that is what Juiced Bikes is really trying to get across in their products, is just to have fun with them. And it really shows. I think it looks really attractive as well. This again is the Founders Edition, which means it's got a nice green metallic color, nice seat, extra functions. Forgot to mention it's even got a Bluetooth speaker built into this light here at the front, which is a lot of fun. That's it then. If you've got any questions, please drop them in the comments down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.